Okay, I want to talk about taxation today. We're hearing all these news and the reports from the liberal media, from Soros to the New York Times, everything else. Keep in mind, Soros is one of the richest guys in the world. But tax the rich, tax the businesses. It's time to take money away from big business. It's time to take money away from the rich people. Big business in this country is founded on the simple principle of making a profit. And in the liberal society we live in, the socialist society, profits are evil things. You hear them talk about it every day. Exxon's bad profits. You know, big business, bad profits. If there's not a profit to be made, the businesses don't exist. America was founded on capitalism and making a profit. It was not founded on social programs. It was founded on capitalism. Companies are in business to make a profit, to pay their shareholders, to pay their employees, and to put money in the pocket of the guy that started the business so he can have the big fancy home, the nice cars, and all that stuff. It's the want that makes that possible. There's some guy that has an idea, and he says, I want to make a living. I want to have nice things. I want my kids to have things. I want my kids to go to college. So I'm going to make a business. And he succeeds, and 20 years later, he's got four companies, 4 manufacturing plants, hire 10, 12,000 people, and you say he's vicious because he makes a profit. Now, if you want to tax these companies and take away their tax breaks and their incentives, there's going to be no expansion. It's very simple. You look at California, you look at New York. New York put in a media tax. A media tax was directed specifically at television shows filmed in media. All the talk shows left and went to Connecticut. 2 of the Law and Orders are going off the air simply because actors can't afford the taxation living there. They're leaving. I mean, I know y'all hate Rush, all you liberals, but he left New York to go to Florida simply because of taxes. What we have to do is start looking at this situation the way it should be looked at. You tax these companies, they're not going to expand. If you take away their tax breaks, they're not going to be able to build new roads and put plants in areas where people are at. I mean, you look at LA, the cost of building a building there is outrageous. So companies go somewhere else for the cost of property and building stuff. So they go to Arizona. Arizona gives tax breaks for manufacturing, tax breaks for building roads, tax breaks for building water and sewer systems. That's what gets companies there. After they get them tax breaks and they build their buildings there, they pay their share of taxes. The problem is, if you've got 4 or 5 major companies in a city, they can't pay enough taxes to pay all the welfare and all the food stamps and all the WIC and all the unemployment for the people not working. It's just impossible. It can't be done. Now, you want to talk about taxing the rich. Rich invest in the country. How do you think they got rich? Hearst with his big mansion castles that he built. Newspapers made him rich. And it was people buying newspapers. And keep in mind, newspapers back then were a nickel. He made enough money selling nickel newspapers to build the things he built. Carnegie Mellon, same thing. Steel industry, auto, or railroad industry. You cannot tax big, rich people and expect to solve the problems. Because if you tax them long enough to where you take enough of their money, they're just going to leave. George Soros, the #1 liberal billionaire in the world, is a perfect example. When the taxes started getting to him, his ass lives in China now. And he lives in China for the simple principle to avoid taxation and avoid the laws of the United States. He lives in China. China! Just think about it. You want all the rest of the billionaires that live in America to go to China? Because China would welcome them. They would welcome them hand over foot. You got to get to the point where you can't take money away from somebody else to make someone else happy. Yes, we have high unemployment now. Yes, there's so many people on welfare and WIC and lost their homes, but I've done other videos on that. 90% of these people lost their homes, shouldn't have been in them in the first place because they couldn't afford them because they lied on their loan forms. But you can't say, oh my God, we got to tax big business to make up for what they're losing. It just doesn't work that way. Big business needs its tax breaks to expand. Expansion means more jobs. More jobs means more taxes for the governments, local city governments, which means more cops, more firemen, and that would make the unions obsolete. But you have to look at the whole picture. You can't say, oh my God, take away Exxon's tax breaks because Exxon makes billions of dollars. Yes, Exxon makes billions of dollars, and if you look at the tax report that the government put out, they make an average of 4.5 cents per gallon sold. It's just a lot sold. But you don't count in the fact that they have to build refineries, they have to build oil wells, they have to pay for trucking, they have to move equipment in to build these things, they got to truck that equipment in, they got to truck the oil back, they got to truck the gasoline to places, they have to build gas stations, they have to truck the fuel to independent gas stations. All that's included in there. But you all don't want to see that. You just want to see the billions made. Oh my God, we got to tax them. They can't get no tax breaks. Well, if you want a new oil refinery, say in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to get Exxon to move there and build the one there, they're going to go to the place that gives them the most tax breaks. And the average oil refinery hires between 1,500 to 3,500 people. Those are jobs of people that make money, buy houses, buy cars, buy groceries, and pay taxes. And it's the rich people that do that. Do you think Exxon, the corporation, has all that money? It's the three men that own Exxon that have that money. At any time, under our laws and under the system we have and the system that the world should have, they could at any time pull their money out and say, I don't want the company no more, let's close it, let's go out of business, pocket our money and forget it. Then what are you going to do? They got all their money. They can afford to buy gas at $25 a gallon is what it would be. We can't. So taxing rich people and corporations just isn't going to work. And you've got to start looking at the big picture. And I know you're going to have everybody say, oh, that's the normal conservative thing. It'll kill business. It's a fact. Look at the textile industry that's left the United States over wages and taxes. Look at the automotive industry that's outside the United States now. Manufacturers here that manufacture in Mexico, Canada, and everything else. It's because of taxes and the high cost of wages. It's just, you cannot say taxation is the answer. Sorry. Thank you.